Hello. All right. Can everyone hear us? I hope. I can see some of our attendees here. We are really excited. I hope everyone can hear me okay. And
Hey everyone.
all right. So Chelsea Homire here with Digital Dental Assistant Academy and the amazing Josh from Evolve. And whenever I think of Evolve, I just think of Exocad for some reason because I feel like you guys are just like Exocad kings, but you also do so much more than that. So if you don't mind, give us a little introduction about who you are and what you guys do, and then we'll go into how does Digital Dental Assistant Academy tie into Evolve?
Absolutely. I think, well, firstly, Evolve doesn't exist without the assistants. It doesn't exist without people and things like Digital Dental Academy.
Hmm.
Or Digital Dental Assistance Academy because, and I'm going to specify Digital Dental Assistance Academy
Hmm.
because you guys are the glue between everything that we do.
Yes.
We would not exist without the relationship that we as technicians, because
Hmm.
Evolve as a company is composed of technicians
Hmm.
because Evolve is a product line of our laboratory. Our
Hmm.
laboratory is Evolution Dental Science. We're from Buffalo, New York. We're a 30-year legacy laboratory. I'm second generation tech, alongside
Amazing.
with all of my family members. We work together at our laboratory in Buffalo, New York. If I didn't say Buffalo, New York, I'll say it a few more times because we're very, very proud of that.
You
Let's
guys
go.
are.
Let's go Sabres. Let's go Sabres. They're playing right now, by the way. Sorry, anyone who's a Montreal fan. But yeah, but basically, we are a group of laboratory technicians
Mhm.
that are here to help serve our dental industry. Rather it be through our laboratory services, or if it's through providing assistance in clinics and or laboratories with products like Exocad, scanners, or 3D printers. We have all sorts of different products, and I highly encourage you guys to take a look at Evolve. It's very, very comprehensive. We have so many different services that we could provide you as far as design services, products, and even manufacturing that can help you guys at the end of the day if there's something that you don't want to produce. But yeah, I'm super excited today to talk about one of my longtime pastimes that I talk about, which is dentures.
Yes.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Chelsea and DDA for having me on here. I'm really excited to talk about this topic.
Uh, Give me, I'm going to start scaring my screen in just a sec, but I just wanted to kind of build on what you said about Evolve. I was really excited to do this with you guys because I think digital dentures, if you can work closely with the lab, can be such an amazing thing. As a dental assistant, I love to do all the finishing of digital dentures, but design's not my favorite. And I don't always have time to sit down at a computer or the software to do it. And if I can outsource that affordably to someone else who does a really fantastic job, then let's do it. That's just another, tool in the belt. That doesn't mean you're not doing something. That's another tool that you have to help with your success in your office to work closely with the lab.
I love that outlook, Chelsea. It's something that we definitely encourage at Evolve. Of course, if you do want to do the design, we'll show you how to do it. Basically, our motto is if you want to do it or you don't want to do it, we got solutions for you. So
Yeah.
hopefully that's the takeaway that everyone could take about Evolve
Hmm.
and what we can provide, alongside with your guys' education experience and everything.
Hmm.
I think that as long as they focus on working with people like us, we can get them to the finish line, of
Yeah.
what their goals are.
Yeah, digital dentures don't have to be this giant boulder that we have to carry or something that's too intimidating or doesn't work correctly. When we do it well and we have good proven workflows, when you have a good team around you, your lab is part of your team. Your dental assistants are all such an integral part of the team that we can really easily do. I've always done 2 or 3 visit dentures, but now you guys are talking about doing 1 visit dentures, which
Yeah,
I was really excited to talk about because
for
I
sure.
cannot, I can't tell you how many times a patient has walked in or called us and said, "Oh, I lost my denture." Oh, I'm going
Yep.
on vacation. Oh, my dog ate it. Or I
There's a
have,
wedding.
yeah, or there's a wedding. I had a guy one time who walked in and his flipper came out while he was trimming his hedges and it shattered his flipper, but we didn't make it, so we had no record of it at all.
Yeah. Yeah. That'll happen for
And
sure.
that was one of those like emergency situations where luckily I had the time of day to design it, but had I not, I would have definitely been calling you guys and saying, "All right, I need you guys to design this while I am working and then we can deliver it later that day." So that's what I'm going to show my screen with you guys here in just a second, and we're going to talk about exactly what the lab needs because that's the biggest thing is what does the lab need? How can we work closely with the lab to give the best results possible? So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. Give me just a sec. And of course, it doesn't want to show Josh when I am on.
Oh, don't worry. Please hide my video. Oh, by the way, everyone, really sorry. I'm on my iPhone. I don't, or I'm pretty sure you could tell because I'm moving it around. But I just got a new laptop and figured out that my webcam didn't work. Sorry about that. But
New laptop and the webcam doesn't work. That's crazy.
yeah, I'm probably returning this one, getting another one.
Okay, I'm going to share this with you guys. And
Ooh, beautiful.
all right. There we go. Can everyone see that okay? Wonderful.
I can see it.
All right, so that's a picture of me and Josh at in Chicago at Lab Day. We have known each other for quite a few years now, and I actually met you in St. Louis when you were in St. Louis for a
Yep.
Patterson course and connected then. I learned Exocad with you guys, and then we purchased our VHF and we took some of those courses. So it was really great to have a company that backed us so well. And I love those giant 3D printed dentures. I gotta get me a filament printer so I can make those. Like that would be dangerous though. I'd be my whole like office would just be everything dental related. I'd get myself in trouble.
That's great.
But so let's talk about first things first. Where do we start with digital dentures? Let me see if I can, my computer's being a little slow on me today. Sorry, guys. Come on. There we go. So
That's a
two,
lot
one,
better.
to two. Is that better? Okay. Sorry about
Yeah.
that, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I am been lucky enough. I have an amazing business partner who actually has handled all the previous webinars. She does all the background work for me, and I'm trying to learn it on my own now. And now I'm like,
You're doing a great job.
I'm not the passenger princess anymore with webinars.
You're awesome. Keep it
All
going.
right. So let's talk about digital dentures and the two appointment workflow, and then we'll go on
Mhm.
to that one appointment workflow. And it doesn't have to be crazy complicated. Records, send it off for design or do it yourself. I love to send off for design. Print and process and deliver. It's that simple. Digital dentures don't have to be complicated. 4 steps, and we can do some really amazing things. My personal favorite is a clone denture. So let's say a patient broke their denture completely in half and they just want us to clone it. We can glue that back together, scan it, and clone that denture so fast. That's probably
Yeah,
my favorite.
yeah. Do you design those or do you get those designed for you?
So
Sorry to already ask a question.
no, not at all. I love questions because if you're thinking it, someone else is thinking it too.
Yeah, yeah.
So for a clone, I personally do it because I have access to Exocad and the
Yes.
clone is just so easy. It's
I love
so
that. I
easy to
love
do.
that. I love that, Chelsea. And I'm going to compare it to basically a cleaning service for my house. You know, like what's called. I'll clean my room, but
Hmm.
cleaning the bathroom and then the kitchen and the grout and everything like that. I'm probably going to call up one of my cleaning service buddies that are
Hmm.
like a cleaning lady or something and or a
Hmm.
cleaning guy or whatever. Sorry, I don't mean to assume gender. My bad. But yeah, but basically, like there's just certain things that I will do and I won't do. Like let's
Yeah.
think about digital dentures and the design process like that, right?
Mhm.
Like what do you want to do and what don't you want to do?
Yes. Love that. And if you have time and you want to do it on your own or you have a very particular patient, awesome.
Yes.
But I think when it comes to expedited digital dentures, which we do run into a lot, that is when outsourcing it is really amazing. And that's when it's good to use a company like yours because they're able to do that. You guys have so many designers on staff that you can so easily, I can call you guys up, say, hey, I need this expedited
Yeah.
today. And you guys can say, no problem.
Exactly. Is that like a comparison to like if the in-laws were coming over and you gotta clean the kitchen? I love it.
But I love your company and I want to tell a quick personal story about it
Yeah.
because
All
Digital
right.
Dental Assistant Academy, Evolve was one of the first people to really jump in and support us on our mission. So we were always really grateful about that. And we came up to see you guys in Buffalo and we decided to travel to Buffalo in December for some crazy reason right before Christmas. And Rochelle gets her flight home to Florida, but my flight back to St. Louis gets changed and changed and changed. I cannot find a flight back home. I'm gonna have to stay in a hotel again, get up at 4 a.m. I have a 7-year-old at home, a rescue dog,
Oh
a
my
husband who
gosh.
works a lot. I have no way to get there. They won't give me my money back. I can't get anyone on the phone. And your mom, bless her heart, just comes over and she says, you just come with me. What's your name? And she's typing it in and she says, there you go, got you a ticket, used our miles, go back home to your kiddo. And I'm like, how much do I owe you? Like, oh my God. She's like, no, we have miles. Don't worry about it. You get home to your kiddo. I'll see you next time you come. And I was just like,
That's the
I
nature
was,
of honestly my parents, my mom and my dad, working with them is just such a blessing, you know. I mean, they really truly live with love in their heart, you know. I didn't even know they did that. Man, I'm gonna have to go all out for my mom again on Mother's Day
yeah.
again. I mean, come on, she's awesome.
Yeah, I need to interview her on our podcast. But
Aw.
so
Yeah,
you can so easily work with a great company like Evolve and then have them design it for you. And then
yeah.
we tend to think that post-processing of digital dentures is incredibly time consuming, but it's really not. When you're doing a denture, you really don't have to do any shade matching. What resin are we printing it out of? So all we're doing is picking our base color, our teeth color, we're printing them. If you're lucky enough to have like a Pro 2 in the Duo kit, you can print them both at the same time. And then you lute them together and polish them. You don't have to go all out staining and glazing and putting tons of anatomy in. Because let's be honest, I've done those and I've put tons of anatomy in it and made them look incredibly real. And the patients didn't always like it.
Less is more. Less is
Yes.
more.
Because patients, when they think they're getting a denture, they think they're getting a pretty simple denture. When you overdo it and it wasn't their expectations,
They're
that's
like,
when
why are
things
my
start to
gums
go wrong.
bleeding? Why are my gums bleeding?
Yeah, yeah. So it really doesn't have to be the post processing. While it used to take me a lot of time because I used to kind of go all out with everything. I really realized less is more, and it does not take a lot of hands-on time. Now, does it take some time to print them and then some time to wash them and cure them? But that's while you're in the op helping the doctor, and or you're
Yeah,
doing something else. That's not hands-on time. That's completely hands-off.
yeah.
So we can do all of this in 2 visits so easily, or we can do it in 1 visit, right? Or in one day. I should say 1 day, not one
Yeah,
visit.
one day. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, it's
Um,
really like 2 visits in one day.
yeah. It really is. It's a morning and an afternoon thing. I'm not saying
Yep.
the patient is going to call us at 3 o'clock and we're going to tell the patient we're going to have a denture ready. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a Monday morning that the patient calls and says, oh my God, my denture broke. I leave for vacation tomorrow or I leave for vacation Wednesday.
Mhm.
What can I do? That at that point we can say, you come right in. You might have to wait a minute. We're going to come in, take all the records. Then we are going to have you go home at that point, we're going to set it off for design. We're going to print and process it. And then in the afternoon, we're going to deliver it. I'm not going to lie, I've worked through lunch to print and process it before. Is it my favorite thing to work through lunch? No, but occasionally, if it's a really nice patient that I love and it's an emergency, I'll do it. No big deal.
Absolutely.
The doc buys us lunch. If where I work now, if we work through lunch, the doc always buys lunch. So No. If that's the case, I know at least I'll be getting paid and getting a free lunch out of it.
Hey, I'll work through a lot of lunches if that happened.
Right.
Especially with the price of lunches nowadays.
Right.
Holy
And
smokes.
really, if you think about it, I guarantee you at least someone has one spot a day where a patient cancels that we could squeeze in just a little bit of lab work if we finagle it correctly.
For
There's
sure.
always
Especially
someone that doesn't show up, and that means
especially
communicating with your
nowadays, these
teams too.
patients are always canceling, you know?
No, they don't seem to quite value our time as much as we're supposed to
You know
value
what? I
theirs.
was one of those patients today. I actually called my dentist and I'm getting my what's it called? I'm getting my deprogrammer delivered
Hmm.
on Tuesday, but I'm training a big class in Buffalo and I overscheduled and I had to call her and be like, "Hey, I got to cancel my appointment." So I was one of those today.
You're that person, Josh. Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry, assistants. My bad. My bad. Yeah.
Uh, so kind of just like we had talked about, a little expanded on that. The data capture in the morning, the send it off to you guys.
Yep.
And I've met several of your lab techs while we were there, all so incredibly nice. We're gonna
Yeah.
print it probably, I would print it right at lunchtime. Don't take the last patient before lunch
Yeah.
or start
Good
printing.
idea.
And then you're going to have time in the little bit of hands-on time in the afternoon of luting it and polishing it. And if you're doing even a candy coat, that cuts out some time too. If you don't have to hand polish it, candy coats really fast. And then just delivering it in the afternoon. And I tell you what, you could charge more for that too. If you're expediting a denture,
100%. There's
there
actually ADA codes for rush situations now.
is there really?
Yeah, I don't know. I
Really?
don't know what they are off the top of my
Okay.
head, but they're it's like convenience
Okay.
codes.
I'm
I'll
gonna
need
look into
to
that.
yeah, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, for sure. You know, we'll probably have to talk to a coding person about that. But hey, Chelsea, I
Yeah.
really love what you did here with the layout of the day
Hmm.
because like honestly, you sent this to me and I reviewed it, but I didn't look at this slide so well. And but I love this so much because what this is a realistic this is a realistic outline
Hmm.
of the what's it called? This is a realistic outline of the day. Like,
Yeah.
you know, so many people they're like, "Oh, we're going to do same day dentures." And they're like, "Okay, well, we'll get them up by 1 p.m." Like, you know,
Yeah.
like let's be realistic.
Yeah.
Like one thing my grandfather taught me, let's
Hmm.
under promise and over deliver.
Hmm.
Because
Yes.
how happy are people when we can over deliver on our promises to them, you know?
Hmm.
Like if we
Hmm.
set the expectation, you know, that's just what we do as assistants and technicians is we
Hmm.
need to set the expectations. We need to control the narrative. And when we
Hmm.
do that, that's when we're going to be truly successful. You know, like honestly, like we're performing miracles here. We're doing dentures in the same day type of
It's
thing.
crazy.
You know, so so just don't be too hard on yourself,
Hmm.
and let's be realistic about the process. And this is a really great layout of that.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, this is definitely a workflow that I have done many a times in the office. That is
Yeah,
for sure. But this next part is the one that's really important because as an assistant, this is where I thought it was really great to bring you in because the records for the denture appointment are so important, but they're so easy to rush through and not know why you need them and what happens if they go wrong. So this is the appointment where if we need a perfect result, we need perfect data collection. So this is where I want Josh to talk a little bit about what happens if it goes wrong, right? What sort of data do we need? We need our photos, our scans, our video information, and our bite registration.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Sorry, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I moved my phone and there was something that happened. But yeah, what's it called? So this data collection process
Mhm.
is absolutely, if you could think that your data that are providing us, that your data is the design,
Mhm.
100%. Because you have to think about what a design is. The technician does not really do too much, or the designer does not
Mhm.
really do too much. What we're doing is we're taking what you're providing and just
Mhm.
putting teeth in the record position. I know I'm probably oversimplifying it, and a lot of my technician friends are gonna be like, well, this, that, this, that. What about the art? Blah, 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 blah. But the photos, the scan, the video, the bite registration, those are the most important things that I can
Hmm.
get as a dental technician. Why? The photos align us to the Facebook analyzation and it gets us mounted in the pitch, the yaw, and the roll position, right? So if you're
All right,
thinking,
simplify that even more for those of us that aren't lab
absolutely,
techs.
absolutely. So basically, if you make a motion with your head in the yes
Hmm.
position, right? Just like that.
Hmm.
And then Chelsea, make a no with your head,
Hmm.
right? And then now touch one ear to your elbow and one ear to your elbow.
Knee and
That is,
shoulder.
yeah, basically, or to your elbow, to your shoulder. Yeah, or what's called to your shoulder. So basically, if you can think that those are the motions that your head can make, the
Hmm.
photo will tell us what position the scan is in based upon the photo, right? So
Okay.
it's kind of like skipping from stone to stone here. The
Hmm.
photo will tell us where the scan position is. The
Hmm.
scan position will tell us where the jaw position is, which is the bite registration in the VDO.
Hmm.
And that'll basically give us the full avatar of the patient. And it
Hmm.
all really starts at the photo. Let me tell
Yeah.
you, and I'll be this blunt. If you're not doing dentures with photos in the digital world, just
Hmm.
send for a wax rim,
Hmm.
honestly.
Yeah.
Like, because, like, I mean, yeah, sure, there are the benefits of digital dentures with copy dentures and whatnot, but
Hmm.
take the photos, take the photos. You can do it with your iPhone, you know?
Yeah. Yep. So we actually have, I'm designing and I'm in the middle of recording
Ooh.
my smartphone photography course right now because you do not need a big DSLR. But
No,
I'm
you
going to be
don't.
honest. When I would send for lab acrylic, I would never take pictures. And that's when we did the wax rim though. So that was
Yeah, yeah,
more,
yeah.
you'd have to do some physical work. But
That's okay. That's okay
yeah.
because the wax from you're doing all of that changing in the mouth, right?
Hmm.
The
Hmm.
photos and the scan is how we get that positioning in the digital world. That's how we
Yeah.
create the avatar.
Yeah. So let's talk about those photos for just a
Yeah,
sec.
for
So
sure.
we need the full face just
Hmm.
resting. And what's most important, what I've discovered too with photos is it has to be really centered on their nose. The patient cannot be up or down or side to side, showing more of their ear on one side, more of their temple. We really have to have them really straight on and nice. But when we do the resting, the smiling, a retracted photo, and if we can get all of those in just a couple of photos, it gives them all the information they need for the size of the teeth, the shape of the teeth, how the canines should look, how the smile line will be. It really sets us up for success. And then the patients are going to get so incredibly happy because we took that extra minute to take some photos to send with it. And they got a really, really great outcome because of those few photos that we took. Because we are giving the lab the tools they need to set us up for success.
Absolutely. Um, a, a cool thing that people can Google that's a free reference
Hmm.
is the Kois, Kois,
Hmm.
Kois Mini Me. The Kois Mini Me PDF. If you just Google
Hmm.
Kois Mini Me, there's wonderful PDFs about the Kois. Basically, the Mini Me is what they call their photo series. They
Hmm.
go above and beyond, and they do all this prosthodontist crazy stuff. But
Hmm.
there's if you do that full sequence, your lab technician is going to love you. By the way, but it's completely not necessary. The
Hmm.
smile image, like Chelsea was saying, the full face at rest, and with the what we call the Duchenne smile or the exaggerated smile,
Hmm.
is really important. Why exaggerated? Because that's a full extension of where their facial expression and muscles can go to.
Hmm.
So that's really important. And like
So
Chelsea,
when we're talking about that,
yeah,
we're not just talking about, we're talking about
exactly, just
that
like that.
extra little oomph
The little,
that we ask when we say smile naturally.
exactly.
Now smile as big as you can.
Exactly. That's where we're getting the or that's where we're getting the lateral sinus muscles to extend and where we're getting the apical gingival third of those of the tooth there. So that's exactly what we're looking for.
Yeah. So then let's talk about scans now.
Oh
That's a
boy.
big thing, right? Ooh, can you
Yeah.
scan for go people go back and forth. If you have a newer scanner, if you have a prime scan from the first year that it was sold, no, you cannot scan for digital dentures, in my opinion. But these newer scanners out there on the market, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, you can scan for them. Now, am I scanning by myself? I personally love to scan with a doctor because we have to immobilize that movable tissue. We have to have someone retracting while someone else is scanning, and we have to make sure that we're scanning correctly, which we do teach that in our digital dentures class because that's where everything starts. If we can't do this good scan, how can we expect the lab to make us a good fitting denture if the scan was full of holes and had overlapping tissue and movement? They can't create a great denture off of that. Then that kind of comes back on us.
Yeah, absolutely. What's called the Montreal retractors, is that what they're called?
I believe so, but I'm not 100%. There's a couple different versions out there
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, just those lip retractors. The single-ended wire lip retractors are really great.
Hmm.
Just kind of, and also getting their head position, right? Telling them to lean their head to one side, giving them a
Hmm.
little bit of extra skin
Hmm.
to mobilize.
Hmm.
Also making sure that they're not fully super, super wide, right?
Hmm.
In their opening. Tell them
Yes.
to open super wide and then relax a little bit,
Yes,
right?
because
This
that
is all
jaw is
the
going to come forward and block you out from getting all those good
exactly.
areas you need. Yes. And that was
Yeah.
as an assistant, I didn't know that. I didn't know what a hammular notch was.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, there were so many things I didn't know, but that's why I created Digital Dental Assistant Academy, right? Because
Yeah.
there were, as someone who has tons of experience in the field, but not a lot of formal schooling, there are a lot of things I do know and a lot of things I don't know. So I had to teach myself a lot, especially when it came to why we do the things we do and why we don't cut corners. Because I know we're in a hurry all day long, and it's
Yeah.
easy to skip the photo and it's easy to say, oh, that scan looks fine. We're not going to redo it. But it really bites us in the butt in the long run if we don't do it correctly.
Absolutely. Remember, guys, your scan is your design.
Mhm.
If the data is not present there, yeah, sure. The lab technician could fake it out and we could try. But
Mhm.
guess what? We're only trying then. We're not making it a binary process and we're
Mhm.
not making it so that, hey, that's 100% going to work. You know, if
Mhm.
you want that, yes, that's 100% going to work, that one appointment denture, then you need to provide that data to us. And what is that data? The
Mhm.
data is the same data that's present in an impression,
Mhm.
right? So make sure that the data of your scan would be equal to that of an impression or
Mhm.
somewhere right around there, and we'll
Mhm.
get you exactly that copy.
Yes. And I have noticed when I really started holding myself to a higher standard and I started holding the other assistants to a higher standard, and it got me a little pushback sometime when I said something wasn't good enough or I need extra photos. I was not always the favorite. But the lab work turned out better and better. And then there were less remakes and less upset patients and less chair time and more money in my paychecks and more happy patients and happy doctors when we really just hold ourselves to that high standard all the time. This is what
Yeah,
it is. And this is, whether it means something like I actually made a note on here. I want to create for everyone that came here today a denture records checklist. You know, what do we need to have everything we need for a perfect 1 or 2 visit denture? What photos do we need? What scans do we need? And what landmarks do we need to see? How do we establish video? Those are all things that we need to be informed about. And then we can work so closely and nicely with our lab.
for sure. Chelsea, I think I actually have a few references that, I'd love to send over to you on that. And
Please
we can,
do. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And let's collaborate. Let's get that sent over to everyone after
Yeah.
this.
Yep. I
Cool.
got it circled big now for us. Okay. That's on our
Yeah,
list. So here you can
sounds good.
see me scanning for a denture. You'll see that I started on the hard occlusal, came all the way across, then we went and filled in the palate, and now we are going and filling in the buccal sides. It's okay if you stop. wait for the computer to stitch it together, give the patient a breath, and then keep going. Just making sure that you're not getting any saliva bubbles in there, keeping them nice and retracted so we can see any frenums or anything that we have to work around. Prime scan's not the best for soft tissue scans, but it'll do the job. And then we're doing the same thing on the lower here, getting the whole occlusal range. Oh, I'm stuck on. Sorry, guys. But I wanted to show you guys a quick video of how I will kind of teach to do denture scanning because when we do
Yes.
those intraoral scans, they need to be really precise and we have to have those landmarks. So we definitely go over that in all of our courses. But the biggest thing is, I think, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Josh, would be starting on the stable anatomical landmarks.
Oh, no, absolutely. Because if it's mobile, then the scan's moving, and then
Hmm.
you don't have a good reference.
Hmm.
You know, like I mean, if like so it's like taking a picture of a moving car, right? If it's light out, by the way, you
Hmm.
could take a really good picture of a moving car, or a
Hmm.
kid kicking a soccer ball, or a kid in a basketball game or volleyball game. We've
Hmm.
all been there when we were taking pictures of kids and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And they're moving around. I was just taking a picture of my nieces while they're dancing around in their ballet dresses here at my aunt's
Oh.
house here. And I was taking pictures and they're all blurry. And I'm like, oh, I need more light, right? So if
Hmm.
you get more light and you have a really good situation, then you can scan well
Hmm.
while it's mobile. But
Hmm.
if you have a situation where things are mobile and it's not lit up, like inside of a
Hmm.
mouth,
Hmm.
then you're going to get basically blur. And blur inside of scans looks like basically it looks like rock candy
Hmm.
or
It does. That's a good analogy. Yeah.
yeah, rock candy or
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
spikes on a tree.
Uh-huh.
There'll be folds and misaligned things, and it won't look
Hmm.
good. So
Hmm.
basically, try and scan stable things, especially when we're going from one side of the arch to the other. That's one
Hmm.
of the most important things. Once you
Yes.
scan that and you get a good reference, then
Hmm.
you can start scanning that mobile stuff, and then
Exactly.
and then you have less deviation in your
Hmm.
process.
Yes. I have used many intraoral scanners and some of my favorites would probably be the Allied Star.
Mm,
Their scan for an edontulous patient is insane. It is
I would have to
so
agree.
fast. The soft tissue that it picks up, but then also the soft tissue filter. So if you're scanning for a crown and you want it to cut out all that soft extra scan data, it cuts it out, or you take the soft tissue filter out and it picks up every little bit of soft tissue nicely. So we
Yeah,
need our really great intraoral scans and our photos. And then not on the lab side, we need our tooth shade selection and even our gum shade selection if you have
for
multiple
sure.
method shades.
For sure. And the photos can help us with that, but giving us a reference.
Hmm.
For example, if you're using a 3D printed denture and milled denture,
Hmm.
ask your laboratory for a custom shade guide of what they're printing.
Yes.
Laboratories will
Yes.
provide that nowadays.
Hmm.
We will absolutely at Evolve and Evolution provide that for you.
Hmm.
So if there's anything that you guys need to communicate shade,
Hmm.
we'll absolutely show you what exactly we can do. And if you're trying to do your own shade guides, that's probably something that we can help them show
No, I
or
think that's
try
a
to do.
fantastic though, because different 3D printed materials have different amounts of translucency to them.
Yeah,
So while they might be one shade in different materials is different.
different translucency for sure. The
Mhm.
opacity
So to
is,
have a custom
yeah.
one that the lab will send you that's a big deal.
And by the way, thickness of your material.
Yes.
Thickness of your material equals translucency. Because a
Hmm.
very, 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 very thin pink printed thing, guess what it looks like? Clear. A
Hmm.
very, 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 very thick pink printed thing will look red, right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
that's where we also have to balance thickness to
Hmm.
shade,
Hmm.
where basically that's been kind of my last 5 years of digital dentures
Hmm.
is balancing aesthetics through design, which is cool because, okay, I'm going to just nerd out for 1 second, I promise, and I'll stop. Because this is where basically art and science marry. It's where thickness
Yes.
and mathematics
Hmm.
equal color and beauty. And for me, as like an appreciator of art and science and the marriage of that, you know, kind of like
Hmm.
a Darwin aspect to things. That
Hmm.
just gets me like so excited. And what honestly we've done, and I would love to teach people, but you have to be a student of this for a little while to really, really understand like the nuances of it.
Hmm.
But you know, you'll learn it. You'll learn it if you're trying to do it hands-on. Don't worry about that.
Hmm.
But you know, you might fail one or two times,
Yeah.
and that's why we're here. We are here to help you evolve into your digital denture process. So, you know, let us lean on us and we'll help you out with that.
Yeah. I think
Oh,
it's so, yeah, it's
this.
so important to note that if the scan or the bite is off, it is not the lab's fault necessarily. Like we love as an assistant, I'm not gonna lie, back in the day, I used to love to blame it on the lab tech. I used to love to. I'd be like, that lab did it wrong.
You
But if
never
you would have
blame
looked at
me
my
when I get a
impression
design for
that
you, that's
I
for sure.
and the lack of photos and the bad bite rib I did, but I also didn't communicate with my lab. I didn't call them and ask them, what do you need? How can I make this better?
Yeah,
I there's this was this separation, and instead of this separation, we talk on the phone a lot, but if we can have a really close relationship with our lab, it makes such the difference. Makes
yeah,
such a difference.
for sure. It absolutely does. And I appreciate anyone that, you know, understands this aspect because we will help you through it. We have ways to help you. By the way, if the bite's off, it's not the end of the road. You don't have to call the patient back,
Hmm.
right? The laboratory is just going to say, hey, this isn't going to be a one appointment denture.
Hmm.
Let's get prepared to do an adjustment here. And this is where basically you put it on the printer. You go back to the patient and say, hey, there was a little bit of an issue.
Hmm.
We're going to print something off real quick and it's going to be real close. But guess what? This denture I'm about to make you is going to be a backup, a free backup, right?
Ooh, I like that.
That's something
Ooh,
that
I
becomes
like that.
girls, guys, let's make the positives into a negative, right? If there's
Love
something
that.
that's negative that's happening,
Mhm.
spin that story to your
Yes.
patient and be like, okay, how can I make this negative situation a positive? Because that's when you become a hero. You know,
Hmm.
that's when you become a master of this workflow and
Hmm.
you become someone that's taking that kind of that negative, like, oh, well, this didn't work to like, hey, guess what? You get an extra denture today because you know what? You got a really hard bite situation. So
Hmm.
I'm gonna take the bite with this. We're gonna grind it up, and it's not gonna look perfect, but guess what? You can use that for an extra. Come back in 2 or 3 days. We'll give you the perfect one.
Love it. Love it. Love it. I love to tell my patients if I ever have to change it and do two wax try-ins or a wax try-in compared to none, I always just like to tell them, every step along the way helps create a perfect design for you. And if we don't have time to do it right now, when do we have time to do it right later?
Yep.
Because otherwise we're going to be starting all over. So I think as long as we communicate to our patients, like this is in the best interest of your treatment, they are for the most part very grateful all the time. And when
Yep.
we go to deliver it, it's very easy. It's just like a regular denture delivery. We try it in, um, we wet it a little bit, make sure it's nice and comfortable for them. We can check it with pressure indicator paste or high dent spray. If you guys have ever used that, it's
Yep.
amazing. Love that stuff. We are going to test the phonetics, make sure they can do that F and S sound without dislodging the denture. And obviously, we're going to check the bite and go over home care. Home care is very similar. And other than the fact that you really don't have to soak them in water, like they used to tell you with the older injection molded acrylics to soak them in water. And I always, just like I wouldn't want them to smoke or drink tons of black coffee with a regular denture in, I don't want them to do that with a digital denture
Or
because
turmeric.
yeah, so I say drink if you have to, like drink your coffee through a straw and switch to white wine because I don't want you chugging red wine all the time, but I never tell anyone they can't have coffee or wine because that's just mean. But I would say the number one thing though is keep them away from the pets. It's and I always ask them as soon as they sit down, I say, "Oh, do you have any pets?" And they'll always say, "Oh yeah, I have a dog or even a cat." And I say, "Okay, perfect. They love to eat these." And they say, "No, not my dog. My dog would never. He's never gotten into anything." Yeah, my
Dogs are
dog didn't
gross.
either.
Dogs eat their own poop. They love the smell of dentures.
They love the smell of their human. It's comforting to them.
Yeah.
I have a dog, didn't touch my guard at all until one day he found it, ate it. Then he ate two more. After he got the taste of it, he wanted some more.
That's
So
great.
always keep them. And I have seen my dog climbed on top of my bed and climbed like up a little shelf to get to it because he could smell it.
That's
So I
crazy.
say,
Yeah, so it's a real thing then. I thought it was
yeah,
lab technician. They're just screwing with us.
it is a dog love the scent of their human saliva. So I always say if it's not in your mouth, it is in a case and away somewhere, like in a drawer, because dogs love it, and even cats will chew on the side of them. But I tell them to just soak them once a week and nothing with any alcohol on it, like I wouldn't want before. But would you say that you have any different home care for these materials than?
There's some really awesome like antimicrobial materials coming out, and
Mhm,
there's some stuff that I've done some research on here in the past 2 quarters of the year. Honestly, Chelsea, I'm gonna get you to do some webinars that are a 30-minute length to
mhm,
just talk about this with them, because some of the
mhm,
research that's coming out, there's so many cool things that have come out in the past and everything, and obviously the sites have been cool, but they're actually doing some really awesome like physical at home tests now with this stuff,
mhm,
and it's literally changing the way that I'm thinking about at home care now.
mhm.
So kind of stay tuned for that, guys. Sorry, I don't mean to like lead you on to nothing there, but basically, there's some prescription level stuff that
I have heard of it. I've heard whispers of it. I'm excited to see it.
yeah, I think it has a lot to do with like I think it's similar type of chemistry with like the carry free or
Hmm.
with the caries prevention
Hmm.
prescription stuff that dentists are prescribing to their patients and selling to
Hmm.
the patients now.
Hmm.
Personally, myself, I was a periodontically inclined patient, and I had very, very bad gingivitis, bleeding gums from just brushing. I started Carry Free,
Hmm.
which is a Quest prescribed product. I see we have some Quest members here in attendance today. Hi guys. But basically, I think that some of this at-home care for some of these denture products
Hmm.
um, is following some of the similar chemistry. It
Hmm.
seems like it smells the same. I'm not doing scientific tests here, but I'm
Don't go
smelling it.
sniffing the stuff. No.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm smelling it, and it smells like the same type of chemistry in a way. It smells
Interesting.
like that sodium high type of stuff. So,
Yeah.
there's definitely some cool new or there's definitely some cool new at home care for sure.
There really is. And I love my personal favorite is when I'm making the denture, I say, let's say we did a denture and we're doing a copy because they broke theirs and they have none. And it's going to be super simple. We can also say, I'll give you that second one for half off, but you
Yeah,
have to do it at the same time because you
yeah,
can't be redoing the work. We need to do all the work at the same time. Give them
love
that
it.
half denture for the second denture for half off. And my patients have really, really, I do the same thing with occlusal guards. Your second occlusal guard is half off if you do it at the same time. And
Love it.
people do it a lot.
That's awesome. Love that.
Yeah. So, and then when you can give these patients these dentures, like I had one patient cry and hug me one time because she had really terrible teeth and she actually wanted really bright white dentures. She was from the Philippines. She had great skin tone and she always imagined herself having nice, bright white teeth. And that's what I gave her. And we designed these really beautiful, youthful teeth for her that had some nice, sharp canines. They went with her lip line really nicely and she looked so great and she gave me such a big hug before she left and she brought me in some pastries the next day. She brought the whole office in some
Oh,
French pastries
Philippine
and
pastries.
no, they weren't
Okay.
they weren't Philippine pastries. We have a really good French
Yeah.
pastry,
Okay.
a
Nice.
French cafe right by my old work.
Oh, nice, nice.
Those pastries are good,
Well, French even better, probably.
right?
Yeah.
So I do think it's important to note with digital dentures
Yeah.
that communication equals success.
Yes.
Because if we are sending the lab stuff, and the lab is just saying, we need a new scan, but they're not telling you in this scan, this is what's wrong, then how are we supposed to make sure we're doing it the same? And the same thing as it goes to communicating with the lab. If we're not giving them very clear instructions, they have those vague, you know, please just make this denture, but we're not giving them enough information. That's such vague
Yeah.
expectations that we're going to have. How could they ever, live up to them? And if we're doing any sort of aesthetics, we really, really need photos. We have to have photos these days. I was one that hated taking photos. I didn't want to do it with a big camera because that was what we had. But with these new phones, you can get
Yeah.
a $5 ring light, hook it up to your phone, and you can have portals on your phone. Like now you can have Invisalign on the phone.
Yep.
A lot of offices now have an office phone. And that is the office cell phone. It is what you take pictures with. It is what you do your Invisalign
Invisalign. Yeah.
pictures on,
Yeah.
your all kinds of different things. You can communicate with patients, but you don't have to have a big fancy camera to snap a couple of photos that are really
Yeah.
going to give you the best expectations, or excuse me, the best results. And the
Yeah.
assistants do
Yeah.
control
I
that.
think, yeah, for sure. And I think on the laboratory end, we also like, it's not all on you guys too at the end of the day. Like, I mean, you guys are the quarterbacks at the end of the day. We are really the wide receivers. Um,
Hmm.
and we're the ones that are definitely carrying the ball, hopefully to the end zone so that you guys can do that extra point and,
Hmm.
drive it home, right? So sorry, I'm going all football here, my bad.
That's okay.
But what's it called? But basically, there's some really great tools coming out from Exocad.
Hmm.
I was just in Exocad Myarica, which is basically the yearly update for Exocad.
Hmm.
And what they've showed us was we're going to be able to give you guys the design
Hmm.
on a hub like my iTero. It's called
Hmm.
Exocad Hub.
So
And
it's not something you have to have in your computer. It's just
no,
something on Internet Explorer or Google
Internet
Chrome.
Explorer. Yeah, this
Hmm.
is just like myitero.com. You go to
Hmm.
exocadhub.com
Hmm.
and you guys log into the hub or AKA myitero, right? It's kind of the
Hmm.
same thing.
Hmm.
And you guys go to this and you can literally launch an on-demand design version of what we did, and you can actually move our teeth, see the design in 3D. It's
Hmm.
kind of like WebView if you've ever or guys ever worked with an Exocad designer. WebView is very similar, but
Hmm.
WebView doesn't have tooth designing options, which
Hmm.
I'm a little bit afraid to give some doctors the ability to do this, by the way, because they'll sit there for literally 3 hours. I wonder how many divorces this is going to cause, by the way. But
I can
anyways,
see that. Yeah. So we're going to have the ability to take your design
yeah,
and then tweak it if we
yeah,
want to. That's
exactly.
amazing. That is
Only if you
such a
want to,
good
but you can also
mesh.
just view it, but you
Hmm.
could also communicate in a portal. The future of this is
Hmm.
crazy. Like, I'm
Yes.
so happy I spent the week out in Spain. One, because the weather was great, and two, because the updates that I saw from the Exocad team is just awesome. And I know that other companies are doing a great job. Like, there's
Hmm.
this new company called Circle One.
Hmm.
They have some really great design capabilities. Sprint Ray on-demand design is really leveling up, and there's just so many great other companies. 3Shape is doing a great job with their AI design also, and I just
Hmm.
think that we're going to be able to see these types of communication between the clinic and the laboratory
Hmm.
improve, not just from your guys' end where you guys are providing us the data, but we're
Hmm.
providing you guys with the design, and you can double check what we're doing.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
it's not just all on you guys. And
So it's outsourcing it,
yeah,
but still having control.
absolutely, absolutely. And the lab definitely is creating, a design, but we're not creating the outcome,
Hmm.
We're creating something from what you guys send us. But, with communication, we could get creative too. So I think that's kind of, well, here we are with the takeaways. I wasn't even
Hmm.
looking at the screen. Sorry.
You weren't even, you literally just repeated it. Were you not looking at that? Because you just repeated what we had talked about in our session
Yeah.
the other day. The lab's not
Sorry.
creating the outcome. They're designing from what you send.
But yeah, but that's
That is so
basically,
funny.
I mean, that's, the message I'm really
Mhm.
hoping everyone's getting from this.
Yeah. But you really
Yeah.
can walk into a denture case. I apologize if you hear my dog bark. My husband and my daughter are back from ukulele class.
No, I
Um,
can't hear them. They're good.
okay, good. But you really can walk into a digital denture appointment and have confidence that you're going to have the right outcomes when you are working closely with a lab and holding your office to those really high standards.
Yeah, for sure.
I I'm such a big fan of digital dentures. So please make sure you go and you follow Digital Dental Assistant Academy online. I'm gonna kind of exit out of this and then I would love to take any questions that anyone has. Let me get my stop share. There we go.
Uh-oh, well, you
Perfect.
should have warned me.
Sorry, you were gonna pop
I
up
was like,
mute.
hello?
Yes. So let's see. I've gotten my Q&A. If anyone has any other questions, I would love to hear them. But Josh and I are definitely going to get together and make a digital dentist checklist for everyone. That means when you're in a hurry or you have a new assistant and they don't know what's going to happen, we can give them this checklist that is going to tell them what exactly do we need to have success with digital dentures. I think that's going to be a good resource for everyone to have. I'm excited to work together for that one.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
So, unless anyone has any more questions, I'm gonna let everyone go and have, dinner with their families or go home from work. But feel free to reach out to Josh or myself. I text him all the time, and he knows the stuff like the back of his hand. So, if I can't answer your question, Josh might be able to. And we really look forward to working with everyone. And we'll have plenty of more events coming up between Digital Dental Assistant Academy and Evolve Lab.
Yeah, yeah, and feel free to find us at evolvedentistry.com.
Yes.
We have a live chat bot there, and I am the chat bot. So,
I love it. All right. Well, I will see everyone later. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, and I'll see you guys in the next webinar.
bye,
Bye.
guys. Pleasure, Chelsea. Thank you so much. See
Pleasure. Bye.
you guys. Bye.